Hello, my name is Chris. I am the creator of Vantage, and today I'm going to show you the basic controls of the game. This will help you get into the game and jump in and start playing and learn all the very basics right away. So to get to the screen that you see here now, you simply just click on the Play Now button on the login screen. And you see several options here, and what we want to do is create a new character. So we will go over and click the Create New Character button. And we will put in our name, hit Create, and we will choose male or female. We'll do female. And now what we have here is we have two types of way we can create our character. One is with a starter package. This is a predetermined character. It starts off with predetermined skills and some starting items to help you along the way. The other option here is fully customized character. The option is to fully customize your character. You can add your own skills and items to your starting character. We will discuss this in a later video. So we can choose a pre-made character to quickly jump into the game. There are several options here. We will do the starter package, which gives us a starting fighter making kit. We will select the starter package, click the pre-made character button. There are three options here to spawn your character with. The first one is to spawn at random location. For new players, I don't recommend this because it can spawn you into an inhospitable area, like a tundra or desert area. You can also spawn any friend. If you know their location in the world, and you know their name, you can spawn right on them. But for our character, we're going to just spawn on a location. The locations below are good starting areas where there will be resources nearby to help you start your character. For us, we will select the Tropical Hills area, and then we hit the Pay Costs and Deploy. Okay, so now we have a character in the world. So now here are some basic controls. To move around, simply use the WASD keys on your keyboard. You can look around by holding down the right mouse button and moving the mouse around. To view your character in third person, just use the mouse wheel and you can scroll in and out to view your character. Keep in mind that as I'm going through the tutorial that you can rebind all these keys on the option menu. Okay, so you jumped into the game. Now we need to figure out what the first thing is you want to do. So let's go right into something interesting. Let's start crafting. So one of the most basic items in the game is a sharpened stone. This is a tool that you will use for many crafts. To begin, we need to look for a pile of stones. We walk over to a pile of stones over here. And now what we want to do is we're going to bang two stones together to make a sharper stone. So how do we do this? First, what we need to do is display all the items that are laying on the ground near us. To do this, you can press the G key. When you do this, it will show you a snapshot of all the items that are around your character. And we want to find our stones. We have sandstone here. And what we want to do is right-click on any of these stones. On the quick crafting option menu, you can see sharpened stone. We will left-click on this. What appears now is the crafting window. The window looks a little complex, but we'll go through it very quickly. There will also be another video fully describing the crafting window and the process. But for now, over here on the right, we have two items that we need. We need a billet and a small stone. These are item types. As you can see, we already have a billet as we right-clicked on the item to create the craft. Now we need an item of type small stone. Looking at our list on the world inventory, we have a small stone here. Located in blue on the tooltip, you'll see item type and it says small stone. So this is a valid item for our crafting process. We can either left click on the small stone in our world inventory, or we can click this Auto Plus button on the left. This will automatically fill all empty slots of the craft with items with either in your world inventory or player inventory. Now we have our two items. Now we can click the craft button below. As we are crafting, you will see many things happening, which will all be described in the crafting video. But for now, we're just going to make a sharpened stone so we have one. Looking at our text box, it tells us that our item was placed in our cord belt. If we go over into the accessories of the player, we can open this and we can see that we have a cord belt. A cord belt is a container that can hold other items. You can click on the plus button or double click the item to open it. And here's our sharpened stone. This will be used for many crafts later, and it is very important to know how to create one. Okay, so it's starting to get a little dark out. So what we should do is probably build a fire. Building a fire is very similar to the way we just made a sharpened stone. But first we need to display the craft. To display your craft list, press the C key. This will show you all your currently known crafts. You can manually search through it to see everything that you know, or you can type something in the search option to find something more quickly. Since we're looking for something related to fire, I type in fire. As you can see, primitive fire making is highlighted, and what we are looking for is create fire hand drill method. Opening this up, you will see that we need an item of type hearth, an item of type spindle, an item of type tinder. Luckily, because we used our starter package, we have these items already. What we want to do is right click or double left click on the create fire, and here's our crafting window again. This is very similar to the sharpened stone, except with one small difference. Our hearth needs to be placed on the ground. This will be the location of our fire. We have all 3 items in our inventory already, but we must place the hearth on the ground. You can see this when you hover over the item in the crafting window. It will show you a full description of all the requirements needed for this item. And you can see in the tool tip it says world inventory only, which means it must be on the ground in the world. So what we will do is we will look for it in our personal inventory, and we have it in our right hand. We will right click the item and we will select the place option. So we must exit out of the crafting window first, since we are in item selection mode when we are in the craft window. Now we can manage our items again when the craft window is closed. So what we need to do is place the wood hearth on the ground. We right click on the hearth and we can select one of 2 options. We can drop it on the ground where it will drop it nearby, or we can place it in a very specific area. I will left click on the place option. We can move it around with the mouse, rotate it with the mouse wheel, and we can place it exactly where we want it. We can now open up the craft window again using the create fire option on our known crafts window. The next thing we want to do, of course, is search the area again to find all the items that are nearby on the world. Again, we can do this using the G key. You can also click the green icon on the player inventory or world inventory window. So now what we can do is we can now press the auto plus button on the craft window. This will automatically fill the craft with all the highest quality items that are required for the craft. As you can see, it found all 3 items, so we are ready to craft the fire. We click on the craft button. As you can see, the quality of the items drop as you are crafting. As you are working away and wearing away on the items, they will slowly lose quality. The more skills you have in the requirements for the craft, the quicker you will make it and the less quality will be lost. Okay, now we've made our fire. As you can see, it's a very small fire. So what we need to do is we need to add wood to the fire and close our known crafts window for now. And we will look for a large stick or a log. So here's a large stick. So you can left click on items in the world and it will appear in the world inventory. And you can right click on them. And if it's a single item, the context menu will appear. We want to take the large stick. We will walk back over to the fire and left click the fire, and we will drag the large stick from the right hand into the fire. Now if we open up the primitive fire, we can see that the large stick is in the fire. Now the fire will burn longer and will also get bigger because there's wood in it. Now the fire will last longer and it will grow in size. And it will slowly shrink in size over time as the wood gets burned. Make sure to regularly put wood in your fire. At the top, you see we get benefits for standing near the fire. This is your buff summary window. It will show you all the benefits and penalties that your character currently has. The left icon shows you a summary of your player's main statistics. If you left click on any buff icon, you will see a full list of all the buffs that are currently affecting your character. Okay, let's jump ahead back into the daytime. We are getting a little hungry and a little thirsty, and of course to survive you need to eat and drink. In our starter package for this caveman, we have an apple in our left hand, so we can eat it. We can simply right click the apple and select the eat option. We have now successfully eaten an apple, and you can see the effects in the buff window above. And you can see that our hunger bar below has been replenished. Now we also need to drink. There are, of course, many liquids to drink in the world. For example, you can crack open a coconut from a palm tree and drink coconut water from it. But if you are very desperate, you can walk into the lake and you can drink directly from the lake. When you are standing in the lake, again, you can press the G key, or you can press the green icon on the player inventory or world inventory window. You will see an item called lake water in the world inventory. You can simply right click that and select drink. Now sometimes you might get diseased if you drink a liquid or eat a food that has impurities. If you hover over an item, you can see that the property of some items have impurities. This might have a chance of having your character contract a disease. You can remove these impurities by cross-relating to the cooking skill, which will be discussed in a later video. Aside from eating and drinking to make sure you stay alive, there are also dangerous animals that you must watch out for. Normally all animals will run away from you. However, if you continue to chase them, some of them will attack you. So for this basic tutorial, I will show you how to escape an attack. And of course, hunting and killing animals will be covered in the combat tutorial. We will make the saber-toothed tiger angry by chasing after it. Okay, so now it's attacking us, we need to run away. So you can run away and it will lose interest after a while. Or if you can't do that, you can run into the water and it will lose interest as well. Keep in mind it will reset itself when you run away. Again, as long as you don't bother the animals, they will not bother you. Okay, you learned how to jump into the game. You learned the basics of the crafting system. You learned how to eat and drink and to create a fire. And you learned how to stay away from the animals. You have all the basics you need to know to learn to play the game. Of course, there are many more tutorials that will describe all the advanced professions, advanced crafting, and everything else. I hope you enjoy the game, and good luck!